called Stingray. It's a Stingray. It's another Nikio. And we're also going to do this one outside wrist. Everything remains the same as it does in Shark with one exception. You're not going to slide the hand down. I'll go ahead and do this one time combatively and show you what it is we need you to do. Okay, it's a little harder one to learn. Basically, this movement stays the same. Trap, and in here, your hand just goes one round the wrist, and right where your wrist bends, you do not want to have any kind of hand. Okay, the pinky should be above this line. The index finger should be below this line. And basically all you do is the same thing. Straight to the center, down. Then you whip him around, slide down to the elbow, and dropping the knee on the shoulder. Okay, what's up? Here to there. All it does is just roll off the hand and grabs. Okay, then you don't want to use too much of this. Basically, it's just this one is just a little bow with the body drop. Not very much at all. You don't need it. Then you got this action there, slide down to the elbow and dropping the knee into the shoulder. You don't want too much knee like this. You'll be off balance. Just the tip of your knee right in that shoulder socket. Okay, so basically what them two techniques is trying to teach you is it doesn't matter if the arm is bent or straight. As long as the principles are abided by, the technique will work. Go over a Shogun, four directional throw, and we're going to be doing it against both wrists from the front. Now all these wrist grabs teaches you more than just the technique itself. This is another one where you'll be learning a wrist release technique from this position and how you'll get to move from resistance. I want to go ahead and demonstrate it one time combatively and then break it down and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Right, now what you want to do when they resist is all you want to do is just like direct your fingers this way. And all you're doing is you're directing this wrist or this one, whichever way you want to go, into that grab right there. Okay, as soon as you get that grab, you take a step in with the same leg, which is my right leg. My right arm is the one I'm wanting to grab his arm. The leg that mirrors the arm that I want to grab is the one that I want to step with. Okay, so when we grab, you take a step, putting it down. Then all you do is draw your hands to you, and it's like you're playing peekaboo. Okay, then you go under the arm and down to your center. Take a step forward, dropping your knee into the ribs, and you have a lock. We'll show you that when we go to the other side. Okay, so straight in to here, stepping in, up, down. You can see I have him skeletally locked, off balance massively. It don't take anything to take a person down once you have him that. You have to have him skeletally locked. Yeah, let's go the other way. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm just lifting my arm up from the elbow. And I'm shooting straight in and grabbing this wrist. As soon as I grab the wrist, I step in. My shoulder is against his elbow joint, and I bring my hand to me and over my head. Okay? Down, control the wrist. Take a step forward, and as soon as he hits, I'm dropping my knee. And this is the wrist lock that you want. All you're doing is just straightening up. Tear the wrist and shoulder out of socket with that. Okay, go ahead and resist. We'll show you what we're talking about here. This is all you're doing. He can't stop you. Okay? You're operating both of his arms from his shoulder. So you do that, down. Oh, yeah! And you got him pretty much whooped. Oh, yeah! Okay. Now in this lock here, you don't want to be pulling up with your arms. All you do is just straighten up. Try to reserve your strength as much as possible. Last time. Okay. What I mean by skeletal locks, we'll go over that one more time. Okay, let's go from this direction. See how his body is? That's what I mean. He cannot react, he can't kick, he can't punch, he can't do anything. Because I have him skeletal locked. And right here, how bad off balance I have him, all I have to do is a little drop and he'll fall. Not to mention if I cut down on his arms, you're going to destroy his arms. Okay? The technique that we're going to do is kotegashi against both wrists from the rear. Okay, I'll break it down a little bit for you. Okay, from this side, right here. Okay, number one is you're stepping forward and you're raising your elbow again, just like when your wrist was grabbed from the front. He can't stop you from moving here. If you try to go like this, up into it, you're going into his muscle and bone, so you just raise your arm. And it comes over and you hit down on the hand and just relax this hand that you're gripping. Then you do a back kick to the body. As you do the back kick, you come in and cross the thumbs, then this leg spins around and drop. Come straight to his center, grab his elbow, and roll him over on his back, and lock him up. Okay, so you're stepping forward, that's pulling him off balance, as you can see. Same time, you're raising your elbow. So it's 1, 2, and then down, just relaxing this hand so it slides off. Raise, kick, step, cross the thumbs. Step around and take his hand down to your belt, and not on your belt, and shoot straight to the ground. Okay? Then turn the fingers facing the same direction that you are. Roll him over and drop your knee. Now if I do this and I have a fist on this, it makes it harder for me to break free because I've made my hand bigger than my wrist. If I relax, I can make my hand smaller than my wrist. So that's a very, very important part right there. Okay? Just jerk down, raise up and kick. Set it down, turn your body. Okay? Step forward, raise the elbow, relaxing this hand. Down, up, kick, step, turn, step out, and down. Lay up! And over, and arm straight up as you can get it. The straight up, the more control that you have. Okay, now to get the guy rolled over, I'll go over this in a little more detail the last time. Once you go through the flank, right here, all you have to do is keeping your thumbs crossed. Here is just push the fingers towards the tricep muscles here, which he will try to get away from the pain, and you just chase him with it and drop. Say you have somebody has strong wrists or has a lot of flexibility, all you have to do is grab the elbow and do the same thing. So if you feel like you're not going to get him over fast enough with the wrist, just grab the elbow, slap it in, he'll be more than happy to go with you. Scorpion, and we have two variations of what we're going to do after we get him into the actual scorpion or Sankyo. Okay, both wrist rear. Okay, this is all we're going to do. Once we get this down, then we're going to go and get into the A and B variation. Basically, let's do it again. All you're doing is raising your arms, keeping them close, and it's like you're pushing your palms out. It's basically all you're doing. You raise, up, out, reach over and grab, take a step back with the left leg, and you have a scorpion. Now basically, we did scorpion in level 2. Okay, now you want to have this finger. You also have a pressure point. Right there, that finger needs to be right there for maximum pain. Okay, grabbing these fingers and pointing them into the body. That is your full scorpion. Right there is where you want to have the thumb. Right there. Okay? Here, there. Keeping the arms straight up. Go this way. Arm straight up. Cannot fall, cannot be bent, crooked like that. It has to be straight up. If it's bent like this, like I can spin around and elbow you. You don't want that to happen. If you got that arm straight up like it's supposed to be, I'll go ahead and try. You don't want to do it. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Especially having this pinky right here. When you have this pinky, pull it back and in. These 3 fingers, grab him with his hand. The pressure point with this thumb and into the body, into the center. You have him on his toes, you have him off balance. Okay? Okay, tight, one more tight. Okay, now this is it again. Okay, you're raising your elbows. And they come in where your palms is facing out and just go up in the air with your elbows going out like this. And you come over and grab. You take a little step out with the right foot, step back with the left, and there's your Sankyo, or scorpion. Grabbing these fingers for more control, you just take it right into his armpit for control. Okay? Last time. Okay? Now we're going to get into the 2 variations. Basically, everything remains the same up to that point. And the first one, A, you go to here, back, and instead of grabbing all 3 fingers, you just want to grab the first 2 fingers. Okay? Then you turn your hips and body, and the hand goes right over his shoulder, and you just drop straight down. Then all you do is walk around, drop your knee into his neck, and this is a handcuffing technique. Okay, we'll get a little closer view for you there on that one again. Once you get to here, to there, grabbing the fingers, controlling the elbow, turning over his back behind you, point right straight to his triangulation point from the rear. You drop straight down, you walk around the head, you drop your right knee on his neck. Control these 2 fingers. This will be the hand that you would handcuff first if you get into that. You don't have to handcuff, you can just hold him here until the police gets here. Okay? So that's why that variation is there, in case you have to make, if you are a police officer, security guard, or whatever, you can use it, or for a citizen's arrest, or for just controlling somebody. Somebody's mad, you want to calm them down a little bit. Okay? Let's go from this direction. Okay, so it's up, grab the back, grabbing these two fingers, controlling the elbow. Goes up, down, and you just drop straight down. Okay? Walk around, turn the hand to where it's up, walk around his head, and drop your knees, switch hands, and you have a finger lock. And the man to put the other hand up, you can control it just like this. You've got it pretty much under control. You can hold it there for as long as you need. Okay. Okay. B variation. Same thing. To here. Only difference is now you're going to it's like you're doing an awkward handshake. And all you do is raise it and down to his shoulder as well. To throw off. Okay? And throwing him off of there. Now I'll do this one a little combat. Show you what it should look like. That's what you're doing. You're going to snap his wrist. Okay? You can follow up with any kind of punch, kick, stomp, whatever you wish at that point. Okay, slow. Step out with the right, back with the left. Come in and grab the hand like in a handshake fashion. You raise it up and then down. Okay? Cut down. Last time. We're going over is called snake, and it's a variation of it. We're going in a circular fashion with it, and it's 2-on-1 wrist grab. Okay? The first step that you want to do is your hand's going to come up, and you're looking like you're looking at a mirror in your hand, then your blade's cut, and at the same time you're taking a step forward with your left foot into his center, and your left hand cups his elbow, not grabbing, but cups his elbow. Then with your hips, you're spinning around in a clockwise fashion, down to your center, keep turning, he drops down with your body weight, you set your knee, you want to make sure that your knee is past his shoulder, so that you have a joint lock on here and you have both of your hands free. You have an arm break there. Again, high, cut, step. See how badly off balance it is? Spin to your center. He has to be drawn into your center at this point. Step, drop. There's your technique. There's your submission pin. Okay. This way. This is the most important part of it. All these things need to be happening at once. Once it gets up to here, that. Last time. Look over is Windstorm. It's a 2-on-1 wrist grab as well. Japanese, this is called kokiho morotetori. Basically what you're doing is you're cross-stepping. At the same time, you're directing him to his forward unbalancing point or his triangulation point. Then you take your step back as your arm comes up in a 45-degree angle down his body and drop your body weight on top of him. Very important, the very first part. You have to get him going forward to make the technique work. Okay, let's go this way a couple times. Down. You have to get his body weight coming forward. Okay, the next technique is a release technique. It's a rear unbalancing technique. It's for a rear choke grab. Okay? First thing that you want to do is you want to turn your head into the shoulder and just basically lay down into the shoulder. Step around behind his leg. You have to block this leg here. If you do not block this leg, he can hold on to the choke. And just turn down into the shoulder. Come in and a punch to the face. Any type of strike will do. One more time. Just take it very slowly. Turn in, just like you're going to go to sleep on him. Step around behind the leg. That's blocking it so he can't step back. Turn your whole body. Step forward and punch. This way. In, around. Step and punch. Okay, the next technique is an elbow lock variation. We're going to be doing it against a shoulder grab. Shoulder grabs, any type body grabs is usually an intimidation move. If they're planning on hitting you, they're going to do it right off the bat. That's also your sign. As soon as he grabs you, you don't wait for him to get a good grip on you and intimidate you. You have to react. You have to do your technique. It's just that simple. Things that we're doing is you're reaching over, your hand is going in front of his face. This will distract him. Reaching and grabbing the hand in this fashion. You're grabbing the thumb in between the thumb and index finger and the back of the hand at the same time. Okay, this is a strike. It's coming up just like this behind the arm. It hits, rolls into you. You take a step back with your left leg, going into a horse stance. Reach down and grab your fist, drop your body weight, and pull to your center same time. Pain. You want to make sure that the arm is cutting right on the tricep tendon, which is right there. Okay? Down. That's the hit. You want to work all in one motion. When you're taking that step back after the hit, that's also pulling him off balance at the same time. You're distracting him mentally. You can also rake the eyes if you wish. As you can see, when you step back, it pulls him off balance forward, not to mention that the pain that you're applying to the elbow. Technique that we're going to go over is shark. The side shoulder grab. Shark is a Nikio technique. Okay, side shoulder grab. As soon as the guy grabs, you want to turn, hit, and pull into you just like that. You have the guy into your center, then you take a step out, down, and lock up. Basically, as he's going down, he's off balance right here. Then you turn it to here. So you just keep his momentum as he's going down, going forward. Okay. Keeping your hand on the wrist as that. You can use wrist, lock, you got shoulder, and elbow that you can use to control your attacker. Okay. Now basically this right here, this is your center. Everything goes to your center. So that is the direction it's going. It's just like I'm going to take down and put my hand on the top, on the knot of my belt. Then after that, I turn the wrist this way, and the hand cuts. Straight down and lock. Go to the elbow. Okay? Okay, the next technique that we're going to do, it's a choke. We're going to be doing this against a single lapel. Now all techniques that you do, you always, if the guy grabs, he's usually going to grab and punch. Now them techniques will get in the 4th level, but as soon as the guy grabs, that's when you want to try to react with all of your techniques. That way you don't give him a chance to throw that punch. Okay? As you see right here, this is a strike, but this also could turn into a block if he does punch. That's one of the reasons why we use this. This is just a rake across the eyes as you're going over, then hitting down on the radial nerve, turn, pull him into your center, take a step back, hook that arm. That way you have him pretty much tied up. Well, that's why we call it spider. Then you turn the head and drop for the choke. Turn and drop. You want to try to get this part of your arm, the side of his neck. Okay, you're using your body weight. Let's go this way a couple times. Okay. That's your first movement. Okay. The only energy that you're going to be doing is pulling, like you're chambering this punch with this hand. The rest is all body. One last time. Now, right there is where you let go of the wrist. Reach over and grab, turn, drop. Hook, turn, and drop. Okay? Okay, the next technique that we're going to do is called King Cobra. We're going to do it against a front choke attack. This is the first major throw that you'll learn in the 3rd level. It's a very dangerous one. So follow the principles very carefully before you practice this one. Okay? As soon as he grabs, you grab and punch right to the solar plex. The hand comes up, this hand goes here, grab the elbow. Right Okay? Up, 2, grab. You're getting an upward angle with this punch into the solar plex. Hit, grab, throw. He knows how to fall in the streets. You can just about imagine what the attacker is going to fall on, straight on the top of his head. Okay? Stepping in as you grab. Hit up underneath the arm, twist, grab. Just imagine where the attacker is going to fall. It's a very, very dangerous technique. Don't use too much arm strength there, just your drop. Okay? So last time, step into the center as you punch in a 45-degree angle up into the sternum, solar plex. Hit, underneath the arm, twist, grab, and down. Okay? One time this way.